Alright, another video from Nexpo. I have no clue what it is. Not from a man called Kevin TX creates a website named Paranoia.com. 100 announced him nearly 30 years later, given rise of peculiar online mystery. Alright, sounds good.
No, shut up. No,
Bro,
calm
put your
down.
glasses on straight and figure it out.
I have context. Okay,
Bro. Well, you only got one in or something.
what do you mean one?
It's so low down.
What are you guys seeing?
It's awesome.
Get away from your monitor.
In 1995, a website was created by a man known as none other than Kevin TX. It's called Paranoia.com, and its main focus was to foster what he described as a free speech platform to anyone wanting to host their own little piece of cyberspace. The website largely functioned as a repository. Back during its prime, hundreds of users flocked to Kevin's site, hosting all sorts of strange, abrasive web pages on his servers. In fact, Kevin partook in this too, and seemed to relish in the fact that Paranoia was garnering so much attention so quickly. Just to set things straight, Paranoia is run not for profit. I personally provided all of the initial equipment and have supported the system's costs in finances and time at a personal loss because I feel so strongly about the presence of a system like this on the net. It's been very rewarding to watch an idealistic dream turn into reality. I've met a lot of really great net denizens and have seen firsthand how this project has been able to empower people who wouldn't otherwise have nice net access at a low cost. It's clear that Kevin's motives were noble, even if some of what he states on his various pages are a bit eccentric. Nevertheless, he harbors an excitement for community, a drive to give people a voice of expression, and scattered across Paranoia's archives, for better or worse, we're able to find just that.
Yikes.
The world of Paranoia.com is expansive and contains some of the most random and bizarre content that I've ever seen. It's a mixed bag, a look into the minds of complete strangers. A time capsule, if you will, of the
That's
wholly
actually super cool, though.
unconventional
It's
and
unfiltered.
immoral. Paranoia.com/Satan contains the name emblazoned over a black background. Paranoia.com/Extreme brings us to an unapologetically 90s homepage for an electronic store. Paranoia.com/The Slurp lands us on a page for
Oh, how'd I miss, bro?
I think it's great.
pedophile pride.
Why is it so far out?
Okay,
Jesus
dude.
Christ.
Yeah, that's
And
actually not okay, though.
Paranoia.com/Stag brings us to the homepage of a very outspoken stranger named Stag Meander. It was very cool of Paranoia to set up this server so depraved bastards like me can put up subversive web pages like this one. Thanks, dude.
Okay, dude.
Of course, all of this is but a tiny sample of what you can find here. However, by now, I'm sure you all get the picture. Paranoia's reign over the internet throughout the 1990s was relatively big, and even gained the attention of major media outlets like the Austin Chronicle, at one point
That's
granting
me.
Kevin TX an award for Best Local Website back during its heyday. This site, from top to bottom, is a monumental rabbit hole. And the interesting thing about it is that it's been archived hundreds of times on the Wayback Machine since it was created. Unfortunately though, this is the only way to access it today, since Paranoia.com was eventually shut down due to server issues.
Hmm.
Reportedly, the
Self-funding.
project became too much for Kevin to handle. And so, by the late 1990s, he had informed users that it would officially be set to die.
So
That's not to
early.
say that the URL itself is dead, though. In fact, it's very much still alive. And upon heading to it today,
Huh?
wait, that can't be right. P-A-R-A, yeah, that's right. There's no way this is the actual set. Nope, it's Disney. But I don't remember ever hearing about this, or watching, or playing, or experiencing anything remotely close to Paranoia. Paranoia,
Bob.
by definition, doesn't exactly scream family friendly. So why in the world are we led here? At
Test it out though. Okay, dude.
4 in the morning on February 18th of 2021, a Reddit user named Logical Elephant made their way to a subreddit called r/Internet Mysteries, a hub dedicated to uncovering oddities from the dark side of the net. Curious about a recent, almost random discovery they had, they inquire about Paranoia.com
That's so weird.
and its
Why would they-
strange connection
Why
to
do they
Disney.
want the URL for that?
Disney owns Paranoia.com, which was a controversial, kind of illegal website in 1995. I've noticed that searching for Paranoia.com redirects you to the Disney page. What puzzles me is that in 1995, Paranoia hosted many controversial, or close to illegal content websites. I'm not sure if it's normal for them to buy these types of pages, but it seems strange to me. I've seen that in approximately 2000, Paranoia closed and became kind of a French page. Then it would redirect you to Disney.com. Being a controversial page at the time, has anyone heard about it? I've been researching and I can't find any information about the page. For example, Rotten.com was also working at that time, and there's much more information about this. This means that Disney bought this domain, and if so, why would it buy such a domain? It's a question so simple, yet it piques the enduring interest of internet denizens like me. Why do they own this domain? And why are they still sitting on it to this day?
Weird.
Below this, the OP includes a myriad of updates that they stumbled upon after their initial discovery, one of which being a link to a repository of URLs the Disney companies purchased since their online inception. Hosted on a website named HackerOne.com, we can observe a trove of URLs, with some containing purposeful misspellings, some related to their parks, some to their gaming department, and even a few random outliers that I wasn't quite able to source. Even with this, though, Paranoia, with its peculiar, adult-oriented definition, stands as a stark outlier, an anomaly of sorts in this list of family-friendly titles. All in all, though, this list, while handy to have, unfortunately doesn't tell us much about the broader picture.
True.
One week later. technological elephant returns to r/internet mysteries for one more go at getting eyes on this case. A few days ago, I made this post about Paranoia.com and its connection with Disney.com. Although I haven't solved why Disney bought it, I've discovered a lot of things about Paranoia.com, and it's very interesting. Paranoia.com was a website that hosted pages created by its users for free. This, with the lack of control of the internet in 1995, equals posts about pedophilia, drugs, prostitution, euthanasia, television cracking, bizarre images, and mind control. That, and along with other pages that were against internet censorship. There was not much interaction between users, except with those mentioned in the wall of the page, since it was not a social network in itself. It was just a place to make your page and add the content you want. It closed because its bandwidth had been reduced, and Kevin asked to avoid using this server to keep what they had usable until they disappeared. Below this one, they linked to various 90s articles mentioning Paranoia, along with a Unabomber fan site, something called the Church of Euthanasia, where they explain how to cook a human body, a psychoactive drug archive, and a site focused on The Simpsons. Interestingly though, this go-around, their post caught much more attention, lending this investigation a theory it desperately needed. I think you nailed the reason Disney bought the domain. It was likely a title for one of their projects. Buying domains tied to IPs is extremely common in the media business. The reason you might not be finding a lot of examples is because Disney and other corporations use shell companies to buy domains so they don't get extorted on the price, and also to conceal their involvement with the domain until they're ready. For example, if Activision bought a domain called Skyrim2electricboogaloo.com, that would tip everyone off that they were making a direct sequel to Skyrim before they were ready to announce the project. Similarly, a woman who owned a small business making coffee cups that were powder blue around the top wouldn't ask for as much money for her Skyrim.com domain if the company offering to buy it was called Ted Franklin Consulting LLC and not Bethesda.
Made
I'm
a
not
lot
gonna
of
lie,
sense.
I like this theory because it just makes sense. But there is one thing throwing a wrench in this, at least for me. I need to give you some context on where I'm coming from, though. So let's take a quick detour back to
A prehistoric age. Taco Bell?
in the late
$28
90s.
a month.
Internet adoption was growing. It was an unmapped expanse, ripe for the taking, perfect for those wanting to make a quick buck. Companies left and right swooped in, buying up hundreds, thousands of domain names centered around anything and everything you can think of. Pets.com, Broadcast.com, Ranch.com, Gandalf.com, MSN, eBay, Amazon, you name it. The stock market was growing at an unprecedented rate as even corporations and entrepreneurs with no prior internet experience were getting in on the action. Internet
Huge.
domains were currency, and those with an eye for business saw an opportunity. The gold rush was on, and for a while, things seemed to be going.
It's crazy you make
Pretty
money
damn
off
good.
of that, though.
People left their
This is
day
wild.
jobs to trade stocks. Company valuations peaked. However, something was on the horizon. Something unforeseen.
The Greatest Depression.
A little something called
Y2K. The year 2000.
Y2K scared the ever-living shit out of people, and it was all based in a lack of technological foresight. There was this persistent belief that computers, the internet, and technology as it was known would cease to function at the turn of the millennium, all because the first 2 digits of the year were set in stone within computer systems. Effectively, as the clock approached the new year, computers wouldn't understand where to go next. Time would progress backwards, in essence, throwing everything reliant on the internet at the time into complete chaos. This idea, this fear, only catalyzed the frenzy of what later became known as the dot-com bubble, the hysteria of buying up every domain you can think of in hopes for a big payday.
That makes sense.
As the year 2000 came and went, everything turned out fine.
I wonder
The storm
why.
quelled, and the stock market fell from its peak,
Sad.
down, down, back to where it all began.
This is so sad. Nasdaq. The marbles.
It's not out of the realm of possibility that Disney partook in this, even if Paranoia is a considerable outlier in the domains they purchased. But let me ask you something. Why would the Walt Disney Company in the early 2000s purchase Paranoia.com and not Aladdin.com is not owned by Disney. Snowwhite.com isn't either. Fantasia.com, same story. And AliceInWonderland.com. I'm sure you get the idea. Some of the biggest Disney IPs in history have URLs that are not owned by the company that popularized them. However, Paranoia is. Now, while this commenter's theory is a solid one, I'm just not convinced this is why they have it. Over the years, whispers about this mystery have come and gone. Theories crop up, yet lead to nothing. It seems like it just wasn't getting the attention it needed. But it is weird. Before we continue, tonight's video has been brought to you by PDS Debt. Aside from taxes, I think we can all agree that one of the most despised things imaginable is debt. In the past, I've fought with this pretty heavily with car payments, credit card bills, both private and public student loans, medical bills, personal loans. It seemed like everything was clawing for my wallet. I really wish there was a better way back then to consolidate everything on my plate into one simple payment. But now there is. PDS Debt provides options that consolidate all of your debts into one low monthly payment. If you've been making payments every month and your balances aren't going down because of egregious interest rates, this program is for you. PDS Debt offers customized plans based upon your own financial situation and works with you to get on top of it, ultimately saving you thousands in the long run in interest and fees. PDS Debt is offering a free debt analysis, and it only takes 30 seconds. So head over to pdsdebt.com/Nexpo to get your free debt assessment today. Thank you so much to PDS Debt for sponsoring tonight's video. Now let's get back to it.
And now, our feature presentation.
Someone tell me how come when you
Explain
put
like
the
I'm
URL
5. Can someone
Maybe.
tell me how come when you put the URL paranoia.com, it takes you to disney.com?
It's weird though.
Companies will buy domains that share names with their products so that if someone just types in the name of their product, they get sent to the company's website. In this case, Disney released a movie titled Paranoia so they bought Paranoia.com and set it to ship people to Disney.com. Typically, they'll ship people to a page on their website related to the named product. But in this case, the movie's several years old and wasn't a success, so they aren't promoting it on their website, just dumping you on Disney.com.
That makes sense, though.
In 2013, a movie released starring Harrison Ford, Liam Hemsworth, Gary Oldman, and Amber Heard. It was an action thriller about an
Amber
employee
Heard,
caught up in a
the
heist
poop lady.
situation and... Okay, I'm not gonna bore you with the details here. Paranoia was a film distributed by a studio named Relativity Media. Relativity Media was launched in 2004 and was a subsidiary of Sony Pictures. Sony Pictures and the Walt Disney Corporation are two entirely separate entities. And essentially, this theory, one that was accepted by the Redditor who asked the question, unfortunately isn't exactly true. Like I said, whispers about this mystery have come and gone, and that's led to an inconvenient reality. Discussion about Paranoia and Disney.com is scant, and answers have been admittedly difficult to come by. With this, I'd like to pivot our tactics here. Instead of focusing on what's been said about this in the past, let's rather direct our attention right to the source. Welcome back to Paranoia. According to the Wayback Machine, it's been archived over 430 times since December of 1996. However, the major phases hinted at by Logical Elephant involve the years 1996, 1999, 2001, and 2002. Scrubbing through Paranoia's archives for ourselves, we're able to see that its early years were more or less uneventful. Kevin TX appeared to be growing his platform, and at a cursory glance, it seemed to be taken off. The structure of his front page mostly remained the same too, as Paranoia was nothing but a hub of sorts. Just for the odd and unconventional. In the year 1998, though, we can observe a pretty substantial change. There are only 2 archives during this time period. However, jumping to the latest one gives us not the main website, but a message. Unfortunately, Paranoia.com is no more. All but one of the pages here have been moved since at least the summer of 1998. Please visit your favorite search engine to try to locate the page's new home. When it comes to Paranoia.com as we know it, this archived version is it. This message remains here for nearly 2 years. Well, until Paranoia.com undergoes this change. At first glance, this seems like your typical early 2000s homepage, just in French. Reminiscent of cyberspace titans like MSN and AOL, Paranoia.com begins hosting news, stock information, the weather, and even offers its own email service. The interesting thing about this, though, is that the site actually doesn't go by Paranoia at all, as all across the site, we see another title. It's something called Excite, and they appear to have offered a messenger, a mobile SMS service, and even custom profiles. Furthermore, the copyright information at the bottom of the page reveals a company of the same name, Excite Europe Limited. It's an interesting discovery, no doubt. However, it doesn't exactly tell us much about the Disney company or why they ended up buying this. What we do know, though, is that the original version of Paranoia wasn't actually purchased by them. it was something much less controversial. Unfortunately, archives of Paranoia's transition to this Excite branding only carry forward through April of the same year. 2002 is a complete dead zone, and then right here, on February 7th of 2003, we get our first glimpse of Paranoia.com redirecting to Disney's hub site, called Go. Again, I have absolutely no recollection of an IP tied to the name Paranoia. Yet, to be fair, I was just 8 years old when they bought this. Kid me was probably just too busy. You know, being a kid, watching cartoons. And, most importantly,
The GameCube. Don't do the thing. Don't do the thing. Don't do the thing. Okay, I didn't do the thing, but I feel like I've seen them before. Nightmare Before Christmas. Nightmare Before Christmas game? Final Fantasy? Okay, dude. No, yeah, okay, that's what I meant, but okay, dude.
in late 2002, Disney expanded its efforts into a myriad of entertainment mediums. Kingdom Hearts makes its debut. The Lion King premieres in IMAX. Epcot is celebrating its 20th anniversary, and a cartoon called Fillmore graces televisions for its short 3-year tenure. Interestingly, Fillmore, while ending its run on Toon Disney, actually made its debut on ABC Kids, an affiliate channel of the Disney Company. In fact, Disney has purchased a monumental shit ton of companies over the years, and this revelation right here has made me think. What if, by the off chance, Paranoia isn't directly tied to Disney at all? I mean,
Why do they have
what if
access
it's a
to it, though?
random project of Boss Realty, A&E, ESPN, Catalyst Investments, Silver Creek Pictures, Buena Vista Games, Freeform, WLS7, KTRK13? What if this entire time we've been looking in the wrong place? You know, this mystery is interesting. Some of you may not even care. I mean, why? Why is it a big deal anyway? Who really cares if Paranoia.com redirects to the official Disney homepage? I mean, it's something
Yeah,
so
true.
silly, so innocent. And what if I don't find it? Then what? I just accept it? I move on, going about the rest of my life with this annoying, stupid little question resting in the back of my mind? I mean, statistically, upon viewing this chart, this task seems impossible. It could literally be any of these. So where in the world do we even...
Actually, in chills. Paranoia game show? One season. It just keeps going. Aired on the Fox. 2012. From April to May of 2000. ABC purchased by family. Everybody attempts to change the network.
Stand by. Fairbanks, St. Louis, Buffalo, get ready. Remember, we're live, coast to coast.
Live coast to coast, America plays Paranoia. You're playing from satellite cameras in living rooms around the country. You're connected by internet and by telephone. You're all battling one studio contestant. Paranoia. It starts now.
can't let's see that. That'd be awesome.
This is Paranoia, and I'm Peter Tamarkin, and we're coming to you live, coast to coast, with the most incredible game.
That could be bad though.
To be honest, I'm not quite sure if this is it. But it feels like we're pretty damn close. Late into this video script, a fellow investigative YouTuber named Kylie tipped me off on this show, and while she said she wasn't able to confirm anything, she had a hunch that we're getting there. In April of 2000, the Fox Family Channel premiered a game show. It involved 4 contestants at a time, 1 in the studio and 3 scattered around the world. Paranoia consisted of 10 rounds of multiple choice questions, and the in-studio contestant was put up against the satellite players in a race for a grand prize of $10,000. Get a question right and move on to the next round. Get it wrong though, and lose $1,000 of potential winnings. It was a program that undoubtedly pushed the limits of what a live 2000s game show could be, and in retrospect, I don't think I've seen anything quite like it since. The unique thing about Paranoia, though, was that it incorporated audience interaction. The internet in 2000 was budding. And if you, sitting at home, wanted to jump into Paranoia for yourself, it was apparently just a website away.
Back with more Paranoia right after this. Yeah, this is Fox Family Channel.
So,
You're watching
I think
Paranoia
they-
live. If
Disney
you haven't
bought
already
Fox,
done so, get on that phone
and
right now, pick it up and call
Fox owns a
toll-free 1-877-PARANOIA
domain.
and play our game and win some bucks and affect the outcome of the
So, yeah.
game. If you got a computer, you know what to do. Log on to paranoia.excite.com.
.excite.com.
And holy shit, there it is.
The website from before. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Said that.
And there we have it.
Foxway Properties, Foxway Channel.
This is Paranoia. This is why the Walt Disney Company owns this domain. It was a random show with a 2-month tenure, owned by a subsidiary company of the corporation the URL was later redirected to, and completely forgotten. Excite is a multinational company that facilitated a multitude of web and entertainment mediums, and the portal to play Paranoia for yourself, at least back then, is right here. America Plays Paranoia, a game that led to a mystery, and a mystery that endured completely under the radar for years.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Still directly goes to
You
it,
know, this oddity has bugged me since Logical Elephant first made their post 3 entire years ago. It's something so simple on the surface, yet perplexing to me all around. It's an oddity that seems entirely ominous, yet is so much less so in reality. Paranoia.com is owned by Disney because of a scrapped game show that was forgotten to time.
Yep.
It's a relic of broadcast history, only remembered by the few who caught it. Maybe you'd just gotten off work. Maybe it was a late night rerun. No matter where you were, I'm at least confident on the conclusion we reached. It wasn't anything crazy, I know,
Shit,
but
true.
hey, at least it was closure. Paranoia. This Paranoia was never related to Disney at all. As we've seen,
It was a
the
hoax.
site is a monumental rabbit hole in itself, and perhaps we'll return to it at a later time. For now, though, I'm glad we found our answer and threw a bit of life into an almost completely forgotten artifact of broadcast history. Thank you all so much for joining me on this journey tonight. Videos like this one are some of my absolute favorites to make, and there's really nothing I enjoy diving into more than retro internet stuff. There's this charm to it that I can't quite pinpoint, and it's a nice breath of fresh air from the heavier content like disturbing things. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. I love you all. And good night.
Good night. Bow. That was Paranoia by Nexpo. Kind of a shallow rabbit hole. So interesting though. Good. Now we play games.